Hello and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 12. This time we're taking a look at This Is Sparta versus Smell Like Team Spirit.
Or smell teamy, as their banner says.
Or Smells Like Team Spirit, as their team should probably be.
Radiant team ban.
Either way, last time, to be a little frank with you, both of these teams kind of, didn't put on the best performances last week, really.
Wow.
So let's see if either team can turn things around a little bit in this slot.
Dire team ban.
It's
Got a
possible.
first ban of
Getting
Puck
a
here.
I think that would be against 2 Puck, but guess
Would
not.
think. That could be a respect ban, or that could mean something as far as the draft goes. I will say, I feel like ban on Puck is just, I think it does have a good chance of meaning something for your draft. There's a lot of heroes in the game who don't like to be messing with Puck. I mean, anybody who doesn't want to be silenced in the middle of a fight, for one, but...
It's because the Puck Ags gives you a very rare AoE stun that goes through BKB.
Right. Witch Doctor going down next, incidentally. Looks like This Is Sparta really doesn't want to be dealing with mass interrupts to their team fight. They want things to just keep going, you know, no matter what's happening. Team Spirit just knocking out Jakiro, just kind of a casual support kick.
Radiant team pick.
I'm sure there's at least one other AoE stun that goes through BKB, but I can't think of it.
I mean, Black Hole.
Well, yeah. A non-channeled stun, I suppose.
Right.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Puck can just very casually come up to you, drop it, and he doesn't even have the
5
obligation to
seconds
stick
remaining.
around with it or anything. So.
Yep.
Centaur going down for Spirit, by the way, might be a respect ban. Might be leading to, say, I don't know.
We don't want disengage.
Right. Both teams clearly focusing on one specific area right now. Ogre Magi, first pick for This Is Sparta, marking his glorious return to this series.
There's a glorious 112th pick of the tournament so far.
Right. Weaver coming up first on Team Spirit. Right now, a very flexible pick. You know, Weaver could be pretty much anywhere on this team, really. Or at this moment undefined, which is always a favorite with me if you've got multiple people who know how to play Weaver.
5 seconds remaining.
Then one of the most absolute flexible things you could possibly do is to pick Weaver early, have 2 or 3 slots that you could potentially go in, and just pick which one you want depending on how it goes. Lycan very early is very interesting.
Alright.
That's a very balls to the wall sort of pick. I feel like an early Lycan could potentially lead to counters for an early Lycan as well.
So already I'm assuming 4 Weaver, 3 Lycan.
Right. Got the TI special going on
5
here, really.
seconds remaining.
Just need Magnus.
Right. It's a lot of good picks against that Lycan. I mean, most notably, anything that's going to have some sort of long-term stun, you know, like a Bane or something, really messes with Lycan. Bane actually is a very perfect counter to Lycan, because he can both prevent him from fighting and running away.
Pit Lord. Alright.
Lord's not too bad either, because he can inert a lot of Lycan's right-click damage, and he's always good against anybody you could possibly be kiting. Just sets up an area that if Lycan is in it, he either needs BKB or he can't fight.
10 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
he's not necessarily too meta right now, but he can definitely be powerful in the right situation.
Right.
Dire team ban.
Gotta wonder what position Underlord's going to be running as well.
Oh yeah, offlane. I mean, he's not all that flexible.
Radiant team ban.
Presumably
He can
3.
basically offlane. That's it.
Just somewhere in the offlane. I'd say he could also 4. He's gonna be a little hungry, but he could be 4, I think. Looking at very interesting picks all over the board here. Luna and Storm Spirit going down for Sparta, and Ember Spirit for Team Spirit. Funnily enough, I feel like there's a very good chance that this is a lot of respect bans, more or less, just trying to knock out known cores for the other side rather than adhere to a specific strategy at this moment.
If you'll notice, maybe it's coincidental, but Sparta has banned 4 heroes that have multi-target stuns. So you have Puck, Dreamcoil, Witch Doctor Cask, Luna Eclipse, which is many stuns, but it still counts, and Storm Mags with Vortex.
Right. We're down to just 1 spirit left in this lot. If we ban Earth Spirit next for Sparta, then we'll get the whole lot.
Vengeful.
Oh yeah, there's Vengeful, but she's not part of the family.
Yeah, that's true.
Vengeful Spirit at this point is like, you know, there's somebody in your hometown who coincidentally also has your last name. Like, it's not related to you, you just have a common last name or something. Very common if you live in South Korea. Or North Korea, but I don't think we're anybody from there is listening.
So.
Yeah, it's true. I said it before and I'll say it again. If you have all the spirits on one team and pick Spirit Breaker on the other, the team that picks Spirit Breaker should just win instantly.
Yeah.
Lion goes down for This Is Sparta. Not too surprising, they're still in need of a pos 5 over on Team Spirit.
Yep.
And they're just kind of getting rid of, I mean, who wants to deal with Lion, right? Like, if you're not going to pick him, it's not a bad ban in any situation, I don't think. PA going down for Team Spirit. I think PA going down has a lot to do with Weaver. You know, if they're running him core, they don't want Weaver to hit R and then immediately just pop again. And if Weaver's running support, they don't want Weaver to ult somebody and then just have them immediately go back down to 0. So it makes sense here. PA not a bad counter to Weaver by any stretch of the imagination, I would say.
Another multi-target stun, by the way, Lion.
Yep. Very technically, I mean, it's very rare that you're going to get a multi-target stun out with Lion. Yeah, you know,
Disruptor.
maybe 2 isn't that uncommon, but like more than 2, it's pretty rare. Disruptor picked for Team Spirit. They got a lot of disengage here.
The question with Lycan isn't necessarily what Lycan's gonna do himself in the current meta, it's who he's gonna Ags combo with.
Right.
Sometimes that's Tiny, sometimes it's, you know, Luna who's already been taken out.
I'll tell you
It's
this
a high
much.
damage carry, basically.
If they get one more guy who can retreat easily. Ah, Kunkka, that's a pretty smart pick on Sparta's part.
Yep.
With
It's the stun
Team
we were
Spirit,
talking about.
yep. With Team Spirit having 2 different guys who are just straight up, you know, I'm out of here, sort of disengage, and Disruptor, who basically just exists to make his team a lot harder to chase, more or less, as well as making it harder for you to disengage. Kunkka is not a bad idea by any stretch. He can very easily screw around with basically all those 3 people on that enemy team so far.
Right.
And if you have 500 IQ, you can use X marks to spot as like a soft dispel of glimpse.
It's true, you can.
It's not very easy to do, and it can lead you getting into even more pain if you know, do it at the wrong time, but hey, it can still be done. Grimstroke, another guy who kind of punishes disengage. That's going to more or less nullify Lycan's ability to ult out of a fight if he gets put in that ult.
And you can double X people and it'll be really funny.
Very reactive team comp on Sparta so far. It's very noticeable that their team doesn't really have that great of coordination between each other, but they really scramble basically everything that Team Spirit has got on the other side without necessarily being fought like bad heroes themselves. Monkey King here. You think we're gonna see Lycan ult and Monkey King?
Maybe, yeah, but I'm guessing the pause 1 will get it. Monkey King doesn't typically run pause 1 anymore.
Could be 2. He still could be 1.
5 seconds remaining.
It's possible.
Just because something is typical doesn't mean something is unseen, you know?
Saying what is expected in the current scene.
Right. Monkey King might actually have a bit of an issue dealing with the Grimstroke here, if Grimstroke isn't basically taken care of very early in these fights. You know, nothing worse for Monkey King than getting caught on your tree by the Grimstroke Q, and then just messed with up there, or, you know...
Yeah.
And God forbid, nothing worse than you land and you start to ult and then you're just silenced immediately.
Right.
No worse feeling in the world.
Can you get X back up onto a tree? I assume you just go back into the tree line.
That would be funny. I don't know, though. Getting rid of Juggernaut for Team Spirit and Hoodwink for Sparta.
Another AoE stun.
5 seconds remaining.
Will they ban all heroes with multi-target stuns?
Yeah, just ban Enigma here and you got it. You ban like Pango or Viper, who has no stuns at all. He finally breaks the trend.
Yep.
Ooh, Viper with that Lycanol will be pretty nasty, wouldn't he? Jeez. Viper's biggest problem is that he has no real ability to like actually chase. Like, sure, his abilities make you slow, but he's also really, really slow himself unless he builds around it. And you don't really want to build around it unless you have to. So Lycan
solves that problem.
Yep, solves that problem instantly. Gives him some more bite on those already nasty auto attacks. So, not a bad ban there, I don't think. Plus, you got a couple of really squishy heroes in Kunkka and Grimstroke.
Yep.
I will say it actually would have been interesting to see potentially a pick of that for Sparta, though they'd have to run him one, and that's not exactly ideal. He doesn't quite have that kind of carry power. They are fairly early game oriented on Sparta right now. I would say even Monkey King more or less outscales their whole team, and Lycan about 1-to-1 with Kunkka. Of course, Weaver is probably going to be a support in this lineup, but oh, there goes Gyrocopter. Yeah, Gyro would be pretty decent here, I think. Probably not the best necessarily, but
more AoE pain with the Kunkka Underlord.
Right.
Grimstroke.
I feel like, from my perspective, I think the goal for Sparta would be to pick up somebody who has Bristleback.
More AoE
Long
pain.
Kunkka?
We'll see. It's a pretty flex lineup. Anyone can go anywhere, really.
Well, you probably shouldn't have Ogre as your pause one.
Well, yeah, but...
And Drow Ranger
go anywhere,
going
is
down
what I
for
said.
Spirit. It's gonna make life.
Anyway.
It's gonna make life pretty hard for this as Sparta, that Drow Ranger pick, because that's it's 4 melee heroes that just, or 3 rather, melee heroes that just kind of walk up into the fight to do things.
Right.
And even Ogre is still going to be in that silence radius fairly frequently.
And you know, Drow Ranger is the big damage carry we were talking about with the Lycan Ags.
Oh yeah, yeah. Plus, you know, has more sort of scale out than this is Sparta. It's
then you have,
very
like, the classic Disruptor Monkey King combo.
right. It's a very you know, very early game focused team on Sparta here. I have this funny feeling that this game goes on more than 30 minutes or so. This is going to go right into the win column for Team Spirit.
Right.
Unless Sparta has such a dominant early game that they just have no place to farm for Spirit. Though that has happened on a couple occasions in this tournament so far.
Yeah, they just have to break their knees early, essentially.
There's going to be some very chaotic team fights in this one, I can tell you that much. It's going to be quite a light show as well. It's 5 heroes with a lot of particle effects and glitz and glamour on the Radiant, and 3 on the Dire, so...
Alright, should be a good one.
Let's do some calls here. Some fun calls. That was skill, alright? Pure skill. I'll start with Team Spirit, because what they're doing is going to be a bit more Well, actually, I don't know. I think I'm going to actually hold the calls till we get into lane, because Spirit themselves also have sort of a flexible lineup. You know, with like Drow and Monkey King, for example, you could easily send
Yep.
either one you want in mid and lose nothing out really for it. Likely looking at 4 Weaver here, especially considering he's just kind of wandering around the jungle right now. That's
Monkey
the
King
only,
finds that pretty funny.
only real guarantee on that line. I mean, Disruptor 5, more than likely.
Oh no.
Beating up a single wolf up here in the Radiant Triangle.
It's animal abuse.
You know, I've finally gotten used to saying the triangle instead of the off-lane jungle, but I still feel like off-jungle is just a better name for the place. Pinging the hell out of where they think Weaver is, but he ain't there no more. Having some brief hardware difficulty there.
Yep, it happens.
It happens, certainly. Not really anything happening at the rune here, though. Weaver has walked up a little far there. 2 for 2 there. Just each team taking an equal split. And nobody really takes much damage there. Weaver gets knocked out a little bit, and a couple of guys spend some mana, but nobody really gets much done here. Nobody really wanted to fight this early. The Grimstroke immediately blocking this pull camp, and yeah, this is presumably 1 drow. I mean, you could have 5 drow if they've lost their minds.
And Disruptor 1, yeah. Could be.
So, just taking it from the top here, we have Pepcac, Drow Ranger, position 1 for Team Spirit. We have Alex, position 2, Monkey King. We have Lycan, position 3, played by Tybor. Weaver, position 4.
I've seen that guy around the chat.
Yeah. Weaver, pause 4 by DVD. And of course, SPAZ Is a SPAZ, a team captain on position 5, Disruptor.
Block that camp out.
On the other hand, we have the unforgettable. Oh, we have a little bit of a tussle here going on between the supports in the top lane. I don't think anything's going to come of it.
Here, yeah. Trade with each other, give their cores space.
On This Is Sparta, we've got Big Boy LaCroix as Underlord, pause 3. Askelter 3 as Grimstroke, who's their pause 4 here. Having a whale of a time just beefing with Disruptor here. Pause 1, we have G-Raff, who is playing Bristleback. Very interesting pause 1 choice here. Very unorthodox.
Went a traditional carry just to put on early pressure.
Right. Carb, position 5, Ogre Magi. And up here we have team captain Jackie Chen playing Kunkka, position 2.
Yep.
It's going to be very interesting to see how a pause 1 Bristleback experiment sort of goes for them here. You can notice if you look at his 5-year plan here, he is still definitely building like a traditional pause 3. I don't know why he's only getting the magic stick last. But, you know.
Guess he's gonna.
Yeah, probably just gonna get the Ring of Health before getting stick, but you know. Generally speaking, This Is Sparta. Oh, this might be a little hairy here, but I don't think he's dead.
Yeah, he blocked off the multi-shot route.
Big Boy LaCroix dropping that Firestorm on him. I always want to call that the Pit of Malice, but it's not. Underlord dropping the Firestorm in the perfect place just to make them all back away and just make it sort of a waste of time, more or less, for him. Alex, notably, just getting a little screwed up here at mid.
Those Tidebringer shots.
Yep.
Pretty nasty.
People are running this mid pretty frequently right now, I've noticed. Kunkka mid with focus on Tidebringer again. It's one of those things where I don't think a Tidebringer focus build for Kunkka was ever really a bad thing. It was just people just sort of forgot that you can do that. it became, you know, this is not good because there's better alternatives, but once those alternatives weren't really better anymore, people kind of forgot why. This is Sparta offlane here, getting a little messed up by the creep equilibrium. They had a good opportunity for the kill if the creeps didn't just get in the way and block Grimstroke out there.
Right.
Never a nice thing to see happen. It's a very hard thing to predict. You know, just what exactly the creeps are going to do, how they're going to line themselves up. Alex making a bit of a comeback here at mid. He's closed the gap for the most part for last hits, and
Yep.
it's no longer getting quite so beaten up. On the other hand, Drow Ranger really struggling to get any farm at all here at the top lane. Pitlord, Big Boix with Croix, making it very punishing for her to get even the most basics sort of stuff done, and notably, she's really not doing any better than SPAZ for farm, which is not great.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty pressure-heavy lane, Pit Lord Grimstroke.
Right. If I was calling the shots here, if I was the team captain for old Team Spirit here, I think one thing I would probably be thinking about is having Pepcac pick up some items that would help him jungle a little bit and just get him out of this lane as soon as possible. I mean, this is just not where you want to be as the Drow Ranger. Some pulls going on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find it, walk into it. The Ranger gonna try and pick up a little bit here. Does get the big creep here, but it's getting a little messed up for a trouble, but luckily the Disruptor Arena comes in clutch again.
She's lucky in that she has probably the best defensive support in the game, bar maybe like an Oracle.
Right. It is very difficult to get a whole lot done early game against Disruptor. You know, before you have something to do about the kinetic field. Oh, got a courier assassination.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Skill spammed a bit by Bristle.
But before you start, especially before you get boots, and Underlord has them, but Grimstroke actually does as well, so they are going to have a little bit to do about it. Before you start getting those boots, it's kind of difficult to deal with that arena. Even when you get them, it's still not too easy to just walk out until you get them upgraded. I will say this much, I do think getting a casual point at Phantom's Embrace would open them up to doing a lot more here. Another courier assassination.
Oh,
I believe
boy.
that's first blood for Jackie
Weaver.
Chen just gets just annihilates Weaver at 6 minutes 30 roughly, which is I believe the latest first blood in the league so far.
Pretty late first blood, yeah.
Casually glyphs because Alex takes his time to just start whacking his tower.
Maybe he's using the double damage rune.
It's a good use of the double damage, but unfortunately with Jackie Chen back in the lane, can't really do that anymore. Just taking his bounty, at least getting something done here. But yeah, I believe that's both members of the Radiant safe lane. Oh no, it's not Bristle's courier. It's whose is it then?
Someone's. I'm sure it's back alive by now.
Yeah,
Courier
probably just respawn.
Courier
Pretty
respawn
low.
times aren't that long. Yeah.
I believe it was the Radiant safe lane in its entirety who had their couriers blown.
Oh boy.
Oh no, it was Weaver and Ogre, both the supports in the bottom lane. G-Raf just eats Weaver.
Yeah, that level 6 Bristle power spike just gonna obliterate Weaver from the planet.
Looks like Bristleback wants to get a little more done here, just can't really do anything to like in with this little amount of mana.
Yeah, it doesn't have the mana pool yet.
Finds both of the bounty runes in the in Team Spirit's triangle there.
It's kind of a classic story, the old Bristle mana problems in lane.
Right.
Pit, but just gonna poke.
Yep. The Dire have the ability by this point, both of them, to just simply walk out of the whatever Pit Lord does, especially Drow Ranger, who has Windlace already.
They are still stifling her farm.
Right.
So.
And this is a casual windlace too. This is almost certainly not going to be building in anything for her. So they did force her to do that. Just drop 200 gold. Ah, got the funny music.
Well.
Bristleback, just in a load of pain here, getting run over by
Oh yeah.
the entire dire line here. Ogre Magi might not live this. Yeah, he's just gonna be eaten by the wolves.
Yep.
But Lycan just wasn't able to do anything about the ship. Kunkka now pig pulling out. But he still wants to fight a little bit. I wouldn't advise it myself, frankly. I would say ultimately, though, that probably, I would say, generally favored the Radiant there, because even though the Dire got more kills in that exchange, Lycan was certainly the valuable one to have there.
Yep. Well, Bristle's not too bad himself.
Right. The thing is, when you're a team like the, oh well, certainly not going to be good for him if he gets us killed again here very casually.
Not taking damage here. Oh, maybe the Lycan though.
Nope. Drow Ranger, by the way, going down at top. Yep. Ogre Magi
Got
rotates for it. And now we wait. We're not really waiting. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
As I was saying. There we go. As I was saying, the thing about this is that even though Bristles are pause 1, and usually killing a pause 1 would have a much more dramatic impact, Bristleback is a kind of hero who really does not care that much if he takes early game spills, because he's just going to naturally get it back, right? He's going to naturally be killing people. He's going to be naturally getting a lot of farm in the that 15 to 20 minute time period, just no matter what he does, essentially. While Lycan doesn't really quite have that. I mean, sure he can jungle, but the actual amount of input needed to do so is a lot more. He's going to be getting especially less kills. So, especially if this happens to him. But oh, popping the wand there. He's got the tomato. Tomato is with Lycan here, but no avail. Bristleback just barely getting away. Lycan wants to dive. This is very brave.
If you waited one more second to let the quills expire, I think that would have worked.
Right. On the other hand, if he'd stayed one more second to let Quill Spray come off cooldown, he would have been dead. Well, but Monkey King's here. Monkey King wants to make up for what he missed the first time around, and does not look like, though, they're going to find anything for it.
Boy.
Ogre TP's in. Perfect timing. Just wipes Lycan off the map.
That Bristle's pretty tanky.
Yep. He got Vanguard immediately, and he's going up against a nearly only fizz damage response from both Lycan and Monkey King, and even Weaver at this point is very largely fizz damage, with the focus on his Q. Yeah, Monkey King actually getting pretty much just melted.
Now.
Yeah, has a fairy fire in his backpack there.
What happens?
Probably would have been good to knock out the quelling, bring that in or something, but you know how it goes.
I don't think it necessarily saves him, but
I think it actually probably would have. I mean, if they had gone up there to check, he probably would have died, but I think it actually would have from the raw damage, because it was like the last tick or so. Ah, missed Weaver getting just casually assassinated here up top.
it's pitted. I assume Inkswald as well.
Yep, not a great surprise that, Lycan going down again. Monkey King wants to get himself a little bit of a response there, but he just can't do anything to Bristleback with that Vanguard on him. Though, we have the Disruptor here now, doing a little more damage, making him back, but, so does the Dire. They also just have to retreat.
But they don't really have an answer to the Bristle right now.
Right.
They just have like a lot of physical damage that bounces off him.
Right. Monkey King coming back, wants to get Kunkka, but again, he's really not doing anything too special for damage here. Weaver coming in, but Not much
equally
of an
bounces
avail.
off the Kunkka, it seems.
Dire's top tower
I
is
wouldn't
under
exactly describe that as bouncing off. I mean, the dude
Yeah, I
got
suppose.
pretty heavily hammered there. He is just trying to drink up and come back.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Most of Dire just kind of hanging out here, still waiting for more kills. Bot Ogre
Oh.
getting very casually ulted on there. He's probably
they're-
gonna go down for this. Yep, Monkey King takes him. Grimstroke gets eaten somewhere off screen down at
Good one.
mid.
That might look like maybe an overuse of Disruptor ult, but I think any kill is important when you're down 8-2, to be honest.
And especially as well, any kill is also important when you're facing a team this early game oriented.
Monkey.
Oh, great timing for the boat. Monkey King, very unfortunately, just cannot survive that. Kunkka armlet toggling like mad here. As
Sure
Radiant
is.
wants to make another offensive. This battle here at bot is just, it feels like it's never gonna end, man.
Oh yeah.
Disruptor going down. Weaver following him to the grave, though Kunkka gets
Take-
killed by a Disruptor ball.
Last take of that ball, yeah.
Yep.
Not the last take necessarily, but
As I was saying before that massacre, when you're going up against a team that's as early game oriented as this Radiant, it's also very important to get that, to get those early game kills. It's very important to get those early game,
Dire's
you know, any progress you can get on them, just simply because you're not going to be the up team early game. It's just simply not happening. They're a very sort of late oriented team, if anything. So to that end, getting any offense back in here basically just lowers your Doomsday timer. The
kill the
barely,
Lord.
barely
Oh,
gets
boy.
the Underlord right before he gets out. Perfect timing. Bristleback maybe now in trouble for the first time, though they don't have any way to just pin him down. Oh, the glimpse. The glimpse takes him back a mile, but Monkey King no longer wants him. He wants to get Kunkka. This is, I can't agree with what he's doing here. I cannot agree with that play. He should have just kept going for Weaver there for sure. Not Weaver, for Bristleback there for sure. Miscalculation on the part of the Dire. This is Sparta capitalizing on it. Taking back, you know, turning what would have been a disaster of a fight back into a success for them.
Yep.
Dire's bottom
Every
tower
fight
is under
that
attack.
Sparta can take that they can win early on, they absolutely should. It's you know, the Doomsday Clock, right? It's a fight over the Doomsday Clock. You know,
Right.
there's going to be a point in this game where the clock's going to strike midnight. When it does, that genie is not going back in the bottle. When that clock strikes midnight, Team Spirit just win, unless they throw really badly, like worse than bottom of the barrel Herald games in Russia sort of throw would be necessary to lose when you got that sort of, when the Doomsday Clock hits midnight. And to that end, it's sort of a contest here between Dire and Radiant. Dire constantly trying to push that Doomsday Clock closer to fruition, trying to push it closer to midnight. Radiant trying to put it off as much as they possibly can. Early game so far, Radiant has been doing a fantastic job trying to push off that Doomsday Clock. They're dominating for farm. They're dominating for kills. They're dominating for the net worth lead.
He's gonna pick up Disruptor there.
Yep. Though Grimstroke, maybe. Nope, Grimathy is out of here. Oh, Lycan's tethered to Monkey King. And he's going nowhere. He stopped for a second. Weaver in the line of fire. Lycan actually does pick off Grimstroke with presumably the wolves in the back of the battle there.
They're really targeting the Monkey King here.
Right. It's not a bad idea, because Monkey King's going to be online faster than either Drow or the Lycan are.
Dire's middle
He's going to be a
tower
big
is
deal
under
faster
attack.
than either. Drow Ranger, incidentally, really not been able to play any part in this. Her having to buy this Windlace has really put a major damper in her order of operations for farm here. You know, notably,
Right.
she had setups here. She has these slippers of agility in her inventory that she just never was able to build in the Wraith Bands. They're just sitting in the backpack right now.
Going straight for that Dragonlance.
Right. No, no argument here. Not a bad idea. Disruptor just kind of casually wanders right into a smoke gank here.
Oh yeah.
He's the guy to eat it if anyone, so that's good. Though Unfortunately, I
Trouble
doubt that
more
was
on his head.
exactly his intent.
Nothing will stand in my way.
Nothing will stand in Monkey King's way. Kunkka gets himself a halberd. Oh, it's even more. It's even more early pressure for them, basically.
Drow.
Yeah, it's very troublesome for Drow. It's really troublesome for all their cores. It doesn't matter who's around and important at any given moment. They're so focused on right-click. The only person that the halberd can't put a stop to effectively in a fight is really Disruptor. Weaver once he gets his Ags, but that's still quite a long way away for him. So one of the weaknesses of having Weaver as a support, I think, is sure you get that Ags, and that Ags means that you are a very, very good support when you get it, but it is such a long time, you know, when you're not high in priority. And when you have a slow start early game like this, when you are going to be the late game oriented team, it's a little hard to make the argument for. Radiant just continuing their demolition campaign, swinging top, just knocking it out. Though Monkey King has been ratting bot lane pretty effectively here. Sparta going in for another smoke gank. I want to get someone a little bit more useful than Disruptor this time, but unfortunately for them, it's exactly who they're going to find.
Yep.
Disruptor just
everything on him.
wiped out the face of the planet. I do think they did a little bit better about preservation this time than they did last time. Silence a wolf.
Yeah, there you go.
So Lycan actually might be in trouble here. He is screwed. He is dead instantly. Just wiped out the face of the planet. Weaver just has to R, even though he's full HP bar, just to make sure he doesn't just get wiped out himself. Monkey King finally arrived. At this point, he probably should just stay bot. I don't think they're going to win the comeback fight here, 4v5.
That was super good positioning by Ogre, actually. He was getting run at by the Lycan. He just kind of corralled him into the middle of everyone.
Right.
It's like bullfighting in a way.
And a good response here as well from Big Boy Croix putting the ult out of the great spot. Monkey King, very hungry for Brimstroke, drops his entire ult on him, but doesn't find him here. He's now just sitting in the middle of the trees here, hoping desperately somebody's going to come try to pick a fight with him. Doesn't get what he wants, but he might get Bristleback. That's certainly something of value. Weaver gets just boated on the offsides there. They just can't kill him!
Oh.
Finally, Bristleback goes down after like a million years. Monkey King still has Jingabong, but now everybody's on top of his head, and they just demolish him.
Oh yeah.
As bad as losing Bristleback was, I do think that's ultimately probably a success for the Radiant. It's a little closer. It's a little more on the line than most of their team fights have been so far. You can see the gold change there. It's still favoring them, but it's not a loss for the other team. Oh, Disruptor doesn't really want to fight here. Just wants to make it hard for Radiant to capitalize on their success here.
I feel like the Ogre Veil is definitely doing a lot of work for them here.
Oh yeah.
People just melt instantly.
Yep. One thing to remember about Veil of Discord is Veil of Discord is not increased magic damage. It's increased spell damage. And there are some skills in this game that are hard capped to specifically not interact with it, but not many. So even the Fizz damage focused skills here. Oh, the Invis just barely gets rid of the Rod of Atos there. Weaver gets away. Monkey King now going in for Pit Lord here, who's just getting very messed up. Big Boy LaCroix in major trouble. Gets a Shiva's guard off though, and he ends up denied to Roche.
Oh.
Bristleback coming in, wants to demolish Monkey King here. Gets him, takes up over half his HP bar though. Drow Ranger hungry. Looking for some kills, and she gets it. I think maybe Bristleback underestimating the bug there as Drow Ranger just able to shoot through his shattered armor and just kill him straight up there.
Yep.
Ultimately, I would say a victory for the Dire there, and quite a big victory as well, because not only did you have some major Radiant targets getting knocked out there, though there were casualties for the Dire. Not only did you have the major targets for the Radiant getting knocked out there, but Drow Ranger got a lot of the money in that particular fight. And considering how down she's been for net worth so far, that could be a very that could be the start of a turnaround here.
You had the space open up for the Lycan and bot lane too.
Right. Well, Lycan was dead. It was still respawning from the last little skirmish when that was happening, but still, that definitely moved the Doomsday Clock quite a bit. One thing I will say as well, this would definitely be a game for Shard with Lycan. That would help keep the creep equilibrium away from them and help make sure that it's just much more difficult than it would normally be. Yep, they know Roche is here, but they're not going to get him in time. Roche just annihilated.
And it's the smoke out of Roche.
Bristleback picks up the Aegis. This might be This Is Sparta looking to end things here. Oh, Monkey King just jumps into a camp, though luckily Sparta did not quite see him in time there. Must have been very scary for a second in any case. Shiva's guard is out. They know he's here, and he is... bam. Yep. Alex just shattered. Bristleback's silence, so really anything done for that. I believe Drought... No, she's not leveling stats. She's just really low leveled at this point.
Yep.
Ranger Silence, only level 1, is not really able to keep Bristleback out of it for long. Bristleback got himself a very quick Ags there.
Right.
Certainly more valid than it used to be, of the old quick Ags, now that it raises the goo limit as well.
Yep.
He's just walking around mashing Q repeatedly. Thinking of people who should build shards, a shard on Bristleback might be exactly what they need to finish this off. Dire glyphing.
Looks like they're not gonna have that much trouble finishing it off, honestly.
Yeah, Dire's not really. Dire's not in town. They're just not around to defend this quite in time. They're gonna lose more or less this whole tower here.
In a few seconds.
Yeah, they just lost to T3 very casually. Monkey King coming in. He's a wolf. He needs no armor, but he is stunned forever. He is in the shits. Wow! Immediately dropping everything on the Monkey King. And with that, that's just the end of the Dire's ability to fight here.
Yeah, they just instantly invalidate that Axe power spike, you know, the first wolf bite.
Right.
Crumbles.
Immediately saw what was coming and immediately dropped it. They did not even lose Aegis for that. They didn't even get Bristleback more than half dead for that.
What a tanky team.
Absolute Greek tragedy there. Though they can't quite capitalize on this quite as much as they would want to, perhaps, because not only is a T2 still up here at mid, and bot for that matter, the equilibrium very poor for them in both of these other lanes, so I don't think... I would say in about 80% of Dota games, the first Rax is really the victory here. You know, the first Rax pretty much decides it. I don't think it's actually over for Team Spirit here, though. If they can come back together, they can get back together, have a nice team fight where we have a good silence out, where we get a good disruptor ult out, and maybe that wasn't the one exactly. Uh-oh. Get a good silence out. We have a good silence. Pretty much everybody on Radiant not able to fight right now. Bristleback over half dead, but Drought Ranger is just completely melting. There she goes. She eats a boat for free, pops the Aegis on Bristleback. Lycan running for his miserable life, disarmed. He's done. He's screwed. Though Bristleback actually pretty close to dead here. Monkey King. Oh! Monkey King going down to a really nasty Kunkka Highbring there.
Multicast.
Pitlord says, I'm done, I'm out of here. And so it's over. What a fight that was. Jeez.
Yep.
And while on one hand, Team Spirit did lose all their cores in the defensive efforts there, they got something far more important than those cores could ever be, which is some time back.
They don't have any response to the tank right now.
Right, they're just going to need 10, 20 more minutes before they're able to consistently win these fights. One notable thing here that I think is actually doing them a lot of good is how Kunkka's been building in this game. There's been a lot of very questionable item builds at this tournament so far, to be blunt, but the fact that Kunkka has been building, he got a very early Armlet, he got a very early Heaven's Halberd, and he got a pretty early Black King Bar as well. He himself is also building not just to be tanky, but to be doing a lot of damage and have a lot of utility with what he's got as well. And on a super early game oriented team like this, sure he's mortgaging off his future, but he didn't have a future anyway.
Yep.
So mortgaging off your future for the present is definitely the right call here. So shout out for Jackie Chen, very smart item build he's got going on here. He's been playing it very well as well. I would say, generally speaking, in the first round, This Is Sparta probably put on the worst display of any of the teams. But it's almost a night and day difference with how it's been so far here against Team Spirit.
Yep.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Put on a much better performance. So definitely need to get
Grimstroke
Grimstroke PC here. Everybody pretend like you don't see the timeline there, okay? Holy hell, Grimstroke! How long's it gonna be, buddy?
Should just do like that one pro game where they had no till play 2 heroes.
Okay, there we go. Holy hell.
There you go.
That was at least 2 minutes.
Dire's bottom tower
But yeah,
is under attack.
Sparta here, they came in with a very unique, unorthodox game plan.
Radiant's
They executed it very well. There's a lot of things here that could have backfired very easily on them, but I think ultimately speaking, they had very strong execution here. They've put themselves in a position where Dire just simply can't respond. It's still not quite over for him yet, but with Disruptor out of it again, it's hard to see a realistic path back to victory for them. Monkey King is
boy.
dead again, man! All this guy does is die. Shoutouts to the train. Had to buy back to try and save Drought, didn't even get it. Disruptor also bought back, but he's gone too. Monkey King, the only man left alive, ulting in his fountain. And that's it. That is just plain simply it. And that's the ball game for him.
Dire's middle
Very
tower
good
is under
show,
attack.
very good turnaround from This Is Sparta this week.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Right.
So one thing I will say, a problem with Sparta we had in the first round that we don't know if we're going to
Dire's middle
we
tower
don't know if we're going to see a resolution to here, is the morale issues they were dealing with last week, where the first game put such a damper on how they were playing that they just couldn't recover. So on one hand, we do have a far better play style, but on the other hand, it remains to be seen if they're going to be able to carry this on forever.
Yep.
Still, tomorrow is tomorrow, today is today, and if there's anything This Is Sparta proved here, it's that you can mortgage off tomorrow very safely, get away with it.
Right.
This is just a very simple open and shut case here. This Is Sparta came in with a plan. We want to win early game. We don't want Team Spirit to go on late. You know, we don't want to see Pebcak and Alex walking all over us. We don't want to see Tybor messing with us, all right? You know, we want to come in early on, do what we need to do, and they did. They did do it. There are a few critiques I have with how Team Spirit handled it, for starters. And in fairness, Weaver was the first pick. It was a good pick to do this strategy with, because Weaver only got that axe at the very end of the game. He really had no ability to act in fights before that point, aside from just using his Q to break armor. The problem is he was leveling all into Shikuchi. The Weaver pick in general, first, I don't think it really paid off for them. I think there are answers to that Ags Rush Weaver, and they had it.
Right.
Some of the strategic decisions, like Disruptor being so low on farm. Now, the common problem with this tournament, right? But old Disruptor here, 4K gold. He's lowest level in the entire server by a pretty considerable margin, no less. The thing is you want your supporters to have less gold than everyone else. That's the ideal way to have it. But I think in a lineup like this, one thing that would have actually done Team Spirit a lot of good would be to put a little more money onto Weaver and Disruptor early on, so they could help try and create that space in the mid game to give Monkey King, Drow, and Lycan kind of time to build back into what they needed to do here.
Right.
I will also say I think a more conventional Pos 3 than Lycan. And when I say conventional Pos 3, I'm not saying Lycan himself isn't a conventional Pos 3. I mean a conventional Pos 3 in like a tankier hero who's able to carry through the fights more would have definitely availed them as well. You know, picking up a bristleback of their own earlier on, or somebody who just have a lot of ability to just get angry, stay there in fights, just do what he needs to do, like Life Stealer, for example. Lifestealer is kind of countered by Bristleback, but not really anybody else in that lineup, and his ability to just say, okay, I don't want to deal with Ogre or Kunkka now, so I'm going to hit Q, would have done them a lot of good here. And this ability to just beat people up, beat all those fat dudes up. I mean, look how much HP we're building here. We got the Armlet and BKB on Kunkka. We got, you know, Ogre Magi just existing, doesn't need to build anything, he already has a billion HP. Got Bristleback without Vanguard Rush and the Essence Ring, you know. We got Underlord here, who has himself the Bracer, who has himself the Soul Ring, who has himself the Pipe of Insight, which in fairness is regen, but still indicates he's going to be going for more health as well. You know, I think a Life Stealer pick would have done them a lot of good here. Would have helped them with some of these early fights, a little bit more than Lycan did. I see what they were going for with the Lycan pick, but they just did not have the time. They just did not have the time to get that done, unfortunately for them.
Sometimes you go for a Lycan lineup and it doesn't work out. It
Right.
happens.
And he has been nerfed as well. I do think perhaps if we had not
That's true.
seen the nerf to Lycan post TI, maybe the strat, and Weaver as well, Weaver with the Ags. I think if we had not seen those nerfed post TI, this strategy probably would have worked a little better as well.
Yep.
You think there might be a bit of, you know, sort of keep the thumb in the patch notes here as well, maybe? Trust those nerfs or what have you?
Maybe, potentially.
Could be.
Let's see.
Either way, even with all that being said, I don't think Team Spirit... this is a disaster if you look at these KDAs. I don't think it's as bad as it looks on paper for them.
Yep.
I certainly think, you know, this is to Sparta's credit rather than to Team Spirit's discredit. You know, Sparta knew the stakes, and they just... They didn't just not let that Doomsday Clock hit midnight. They didn't even let it hit like 8 o'clock, you know?
Right.
So, good on them. Good performance, good early game draft, good early game strat, good early game execution. It was definitely a step up from last week for This Is Sparta. In particular with the way Jackie Chen was both playing and building. So, if they're able to put on this performance, it'll be interesting to see what happens next time.